Lord, today we recall your faithfulness. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Pastor Amos from Love Embassy. Continuing from where we left off with part 1 that we recently did, an introductory teaching to Concluded in Love. Today we are going to continue with part 2, focusing on the very same subject. So I'll read again the very verse. For those who have already gone through, you know the verse that we were the chapter that we were dealing with. This is Genesis chapter 2, 16 and 17, of which I'll read again so that we will pick it up from here as we go furthermore. So Genesis chapter 2 verse 16, and the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. Again we say it on 17, pay particular attention to what God stated before man. From the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, pay attention, we are talking about a knowledge. From the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you shall not eat. God is clear about it. He is not leaving it up to man to decide. Because as we stated, as we go further in this teaching, you will also encounter that the free will of man will be rightly communicated within this teaching. Because I will give you again the same example that we gave in one, where we talked about a parent and a child. The child is not going to be given, or the child is not going to be the free will of the child when the child is growing is going to be undergoing a training mirroring what is happening or what the parent is doing. So you will find out that even in this scenario, it is the same thing. When a person is growing, or a believer in this context is growing, God in his love has already designed and defined the life that the believer ought to live or experience. So you will find out that God, just like what people even now call spiritual growth, it is not where a person will just think of anything and do it, but what you call growth will be what the revelation or understanding of God that is already made known, and a believer is able to participate in the very same knowledge. So what we are saying is, for example, no man is able to live a righteous life without the righteousness of God being unveiled. So it is upon the revelation of what righteousness is, and then the believer who now understands or participates in this understanding is able to express this. It is the same communication that God is giving. God was not telling Adam to do something within his understanding, because Adam was to rely completely on God's understanding. That's why we are talking about a knowledge there. For Adam to function in what God has provided, Adam was to rely completely on God's understanding. Because what we call as believers as living the life of God is upon the revelation of the truth, and me as God, me as a believer, aligning or acknowledging what my Father who designed my life to operate in the best way for me has outlined. Then me, I participate in this understanding that is already present, not the other way around, where I go on to establish as my Father will give me tasks to do. That is not ideal, as we see from the example of a father and the child. The child cannot at any particular time even suggest of going to the university when the child is maybe, let's say, below 10 years. But for the parents, they are going to think ahead of time. They are going to think ahead of time, knowing that at a particular time, our child is going to be able, is going to be in need of a knowledge that they will be utilizing to acquire resources. So it is upon those who have already the understanding, that is operation, to make a decision for the one who is deficient in this knowledge, that you will find the same operation for man, because God in his knowledge has provided what is ideal for man. God has not told man to begin looking out for his own self, to do things according to how he wishes. We will see that further in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 and 27. Let me just quote that from the from NIV or from KJV. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 and 7. Listen to this. And the Bible in 26, then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. This is very fundamental and very important. Listen, God is not going to let man be an independent entity outside him, but man is going to be fashioned from God himself. In other words, man is going to originate from God. This is very key. That's why we are saying that the life of man is going to be defined within the confines of who God is, the confines of God's love. So man has not been told to go and look out and try anything, to live by trial and error. God established in his knowledge the conclusion that is true concerning him, that this is what my child is going to operate under, because I'm going to attribute the same quality of life that I have to my children. This, my brothers and sisters, is what we ought to focus on the part of God and what he has distributed to his children. So hopefully we have again moved further from where we were last time, because in this teaching, in a nutshell, what I can say, we were just communicating the fact that even operating in the things of God or the life of God, a man operates in the life of God based on the fact that he responds to what God has provided, not for him to look out for anything by his own means. The same is what God was telling Adam. Adam was not being told that, okay, Adam, try to make a decision, think on your own outside me. But God was presenting to man his thought pattern, which realizes the life that God has for man. Thank you very much. I hope you are blessed. I'm sure you are blessed.